Hello, I am Arun, and in this video, I will be explaining what a priori algorithm is, what it is used for, and the steps that are involved in this algorithm. Finally, I will be also showing the implementation of a priori algorithm in a software called RapidMiner, which is a tool that is used for various machine learning problems as well as in data analysis. So, what is a priori algorithm? A priori algorithm is a technique that is used to mine frequent item sets to derive association rules. The algorithm is designed mostly to be used in relational databases that contains transactions. A priori algorithm could also be used in many scenarios. For example, in a store or a shop database which records the collection of items bought by customers, in a weblog database that records the different web pages visited by the visitor, in healthcare field where the database records the drug reactions for patients, and so on. Working of the a priori algorithm. So the a priori algorithm uses frequent item sets to generate association rules. Frequent item sets are nothing but a collection of items that frequently occur together. With the help of these association rules, the algorithm determines how strongly or how weakly two objects are connected. Now, the a priori algorithm uses the breadth first search technique and hash tree to calculate the item set associations efficiently. It is the iterative process for finding the frequent item sets from the large data set. The main idea behind this algorithm is that each transaction in the database is seen as a set of items or an item set. Given a threshold C, the a priori algorithm identifies the item sets which are subsets of at least C transactions in the database. Now, let us look at the steps that are involved in the a priori algorithm. The first step is to determine the support of item sets in the transactional database and select the minimum support and confidence. Next step is to select all supports in the transaction with higher support value than the minimum or selected support value. Then we will find all the rules of these subsets that have higher confidence value than the threshold or minimum confidence. Finally, we sort the rules in the decreasing order of lift. Here, support is one of the measures of interestingness. This tells us about the usefulness and certainty of rules. For example, a 5% support means that a total of 5% of transactions in database follow the rule. Support is defined as support A then B equals support count of A union B. Support count of X or frequency is the number of transactions in which X appears. If X is A union B, then it is the number of transactions in which A and B both are present. Confidence. So confidence is something like, say, a confidence of P percentage implies that in P percentage of the transactions where event A and B has occurred together, then event C has occurred together. Confidence is defined as confidence of A then B equals support count of A union B divided by support count of A. Now let me show a brief example of how the algorithm works by using this small data set that has various transactions. It has 9 rows with the corresponding item sets. It is also given that the minimum support value is to be taken as 2 and the minimum confidence as 50%. Step 1 is to find C1 and L1. To do that, first we create a table that contains the frequency of each item set individually in the data set. This table is called the candidate set or C1. Then we filter out all the item sets that have the support count more than the minimum support, which is 2. This forms the table for the frequent item set L1. Here we can see that the table on the left represents the candidate table C1 and the table on the right forms the table L1. Next, in step 2, we form C1 with the help of L1. In C2, The pair of the item sets of L1 is created in the form of subsets, denoting how many times these pairs have occurred together in the given dataset, and support count is calculated from the main transaction dataset. From the C2 table on the left, we can see that A and B have occurred together 4 times, A and C 4 times, A and D 2 times, and so on. Then we compare the C2 support count with the minimum support count, and after comparing, we eliminate the item set having less support count and form the table L2 on the right. Again, to form the C3 table, we have to repeat the same process as explained before, but now with subsets of 3 item sets together. We also calculate the support count from the dataset and finally get a table as on the left. Then we make the L3 table with the same steps. This iteration eliminates most of the item sets, leaving L3 with only one combination, that is A, B, and C. Finally, we find the association rule for the subsets. To do this, we create a new table with the possible rules from the occurred combination A, B, and C. For all the rules, we then calculate the confidence using the formula support of A and B divided by support of A. The values have been calculated and tabulated over here. After calculating the confidence value for all values, now we can exclude the rules that have less confidence than the minimum threshold of 50%. Finally, we can see that the following rules are having a confidence of more than 50%. If A and B, then C. If B and C, then A. And if A and C, then B. Now, let me show the implementation of a priori algorithm in the software RapidMiner. So this is the user interface of the RapidMiner software. Over the left, there are 2 parts. We can see the repository, the operators, and in the right, we can see 2 parts, the parameters and the help section. So in the repository section is the place where we can navigate over our saved files and saved datasets. The operators is the part where we can choose the operator. Here, everything is called as an operator. For example, let us say if we have to perform a linear regression model. So that is considered as an operator by the RapidMiner software. So that will be available from the bottom left part of the user interface. So to begin with, let us take the grocery store dataset to see that if we give the connection of out to the result and just run it, we can see the number of rows over here and the item sets over here. So there are 20 items in this dataset with 1 row corresponding to 1 transaction. This implies that a customer has under 1 transaction, a customer has bought the items milk, bread, biscuit, and another customer has bought bread, milk, biscuit, cornflakes, and so on. So there are 20 data like this. And going back to the design part, let us give the output to this text vectorization. Since the available data is in the form of a text, we have to convert it into a vector form. So that is done by this text vectorization module. And just removing the extra module. So yeah, this is the output that we obtain after we vectorize the text. This just shows the probability of the value of each words present per column. We have the biscuit, milk, etc. So we don't actually need the probability over here. So what we will be doing is that we give this output to the numerical to binomial operator. So what this does is that it takes the text vectorization output and it converts it to something like a true and false model. So here we can see biscuit was present in the first row, so it is true. And over here, this column was present in the first row, so even that is true. And the rest all are false. Next, we give the output of numerical to binomial to FP growth. FP growth is the a priori model that is used in the RapidMiner software. So we are giving this output as an input to the FP growth. And from that, we are creating association rules. Actually, we had to give the frequency to the association rules. Now, let us see the output. Okay, so these are the outputs that we obtain. Let us see the description. So these are the association rules that were formed from the given input. Items at coffee, cornflakes, and coffee, sugar. The one who has bought tea has also bought bread, and so on. Again, moving back to the decisions part. So here we can see that we can actually set the parameters of this FP growth. Here the minimum requirement, we could change it as support or frequency of the dataset. So let us just keep support and the minimum support value to be 0.95. And in this create association rule, we could actually create it based on these four: lift, confidence, gain, Laplace, and so on. So we are just using confidence. And minimum confidence, it is set to be 50%. So if we increase it and let us say keep it as an 80%, and let us see what the result is. Yeah. So in the description, we can see just two rules. That is, the one who has bought milk has just bought bread, and one who has bought Maggie has bought tea. So that's the implementation of a priori algorithm. Thank you.